y'all, so we're going to be doing another tutorial, and this one is on this pattern, the Cove Clutches. And this pattern, you can do 3 different sizes, and I got a kit, of course, from the Quilted Cow, and this was the kit that I got. It came with the zipper, fabric, and this is actually cork. So I've never worked with cork before. Feels like butter though. It's super, super soft. So they do give you enough material in the kits when there's multiple choices, unless they state it's only for one size. But there's enough material to make any size that I want from the kit, and I think I'm gonna go with a medium-sized one. It's either the medium or the large, so by the time I start cutting it, I'll decide. But my initial thought was to do the medium one. You'd put them together the same, just this will be smaller. I won't be cutting as much fabric. So, and it also came with the hardware there. So let's get started. I'm going to start by cutting out the pieces that I need, and then we'll start putting everything together. So I've cut out my materials, and I decided on doing the medium clutch, and with the kit I'm actually having enough that I can do 2. I do have extra zipper, so I'm going to use my extra zipper because they only sent zipper for 1, and I do have extra swivel hooks and the D-rings, so that's why I can make 2. With the kit you're only going to be able to make 1 if you want the if you want to add this. If you're just doing this main part, all you would need is the extra zipper, which I do have on hand. So with the first thing that we're going to do is you're going to take, you do need to provide your own soft and stable, and you do need to provide your own interfacing. So they suggest a shape flex or some type of lightweight fusible interfacing. And I cut out all my pieces. Sorry, that bothers me. And then I took my main piece and I sandwiched my soft and stable between my main piece and my lining piece. And then I did a little bit of quilting, and you can do quilting however you want. I did quite a wide, what do they call it, a cross hatching pattern. That's what it looks like on the other side. You could definitely go smaller, but I decided to do a wide one. And on this one I just chose a decorative stitch and drew some lines and spaced it out, and then just stitched down. So it'll be interesting to see how each one turns out. So now that I've got them quilted, I'm going to trim them to the correct size based off of the small, medium, or large. And since I'm doing the medium, I'm going to follow the directions for trimming for the medium. Alright, so my pieces have been trimmed, and I'm going to work with the main fabric up. So what you're going to do is, I'm on page 3, and from the bottom here it gives a measurement for the medium clutch and for the large clutch. If you are using cotton fabric, you need to fuse your interfacing to, which I'm not. I'm using cork. So if you're using cork or vinyl, you don't need to do anything with the interfacing, because this is pretty, I mean, it's soft, but it's stiffer than just cotton fabric. So once you measure up, I'm going to draw a line, and then I did it on this side accidentally, so like there's my line. So I'll just show you, but I'm going to do it to the other side. And then you put right sides together, and you want this, this is the bottom of the bag, to go right above that line that you drew, and then you're going to stitch using your seam, and then once you stitch, this is going to fold down towards the bottom. Okay, so I'll do that and then I'll show it again. Alright, so with the strap, it's quite long, but you're going to get a very short piece out of it and a long piece out of it. So on one of the short ends, you're going to fold it, my fabric's dark, but you're going to fold it under a little bit. That's going to hide that raw edge. And then I just folded it in half all the way down so I could find the center line of this piece. And after I pressed it all the way, I opened it up, and you can still see my center line there. Then I take my raw edges and I fold them into the center like that. And then I press all the way down, and then I fold it in half and press all the way down. And now what I'm going to do is take this to the machine and I'm going to top stitch all the way around the perimeter of this strap. Alright, so here it is top stitched. This is the end that has the raw edge. This is the end where I folded it under before I folded it in like half and half again before I top stitched. So from here, I am going to measure out so many inches according to the pattern, and then I'm going to snip it. So I'm going to snip a piece off from the raw edge measuring in. And this is going to go on the D-ring, and then this part, the rest of it is going to be the strap piece for my hand. Alright, so that little piece I cut off from the end there, I just fed through the D-ring and then stitched it so the ends stayed together. And now the rest of it, this right here is the raw edge. And so from the raw edge in, the pattern said to measure down a certain amount of inches, and so I did, and I marked it. And then I fed the raw edge through the swivel hoop, and then I'm just folding that raw edge over to meet that line, okay? And now just imagine that staying down, and then you're going to take this other end, and you're going to bring that up, and it's going to overlap that folded in about ½ inch, I think. All right, and then you're going to take it to the machine, and you're going to stitch a little box. Or you can do 2 parallel lines, whatever floats your boat. But the pattern says stitch a little box right there to secure everything down. And then that will be the strap that's going to get right there. Okay. Alright, so here it is. It's not the prettiest. I mean, this is my first one. This will probably be a keep one, and the second one I will take my time on. Well, not that I'm not taking my time on this one. It's just trial and error. So, there it is. Let's continue. Alright, so, they give you the measurements for how long your zipper should be on page 4, and you're going to trim your zipper. The kit came with plenty of zipper tape, and so I trimmed it according to what I need for the medium clutch. And then from each end of the zipper tape, I measured in according to the pattern, and I marked it. And then these are my zipper ends. So what you do, they're not quite a square, but after you fold in each side, it'll become a square. You fold in each raw edge, the long one, all right, and then you're just going to fold it in half like that, okay? And then these are going to go on your zipper ends. Now when you put them in, you're only putting it in to, hold on, you're only lining it up to that marked line. So if I open this up, my zipper tape doesn't go all the way into the fold. So you want the edge of this to only come up to that marked line, and then you're going to fold it over. So once you do that, then you're going to top stitch about 1/8 of an inch in all the way down. And then you're going to take the other one and do it to the other side as well. Alright, once you're done top stitching, there it is on both ends, then you're just going to turn it with a ruler. You're going to trim off the excess zipper, whatever these are. Zipper tabs, sorry, sometimes I really forget, and so that it aligns with the zipper tape. And now we're going to attach the zipper. Alright, so I'm just literally going to take my zipper, and I'm going to put it, like, this is the right side of the zipper. I'm going to put it right sides together. I'm going to line everything up, and then I am just going to sew straight down to attach the zipper to my first piece here. So if you're not used to working with zippers, what I do is I don't leave this to the end. I mean, you could. I kind of move it up a little bit so I have room to like first start sewing it. And then when I get to this bulky part, I'm not using a zipper foot here. I've got plenty of zipper tape. I leave the needle down and I lift up my presser foot, and then I just grab my zipper, and you can like turn this because the needle's down. And then I just, if I can do this, I just pull it to the back like that. And so it's out of my way. And then I can realign everything. And then I just put this down. And then I just keep sewing all the way to the end. Okay, so that's a nice way to work with the zipper, because there's no way like you can sew with that. It'll mess you up. So you need to be able to manipulate it when you're sewing. Alright, so after it's been stitched, this is what it will look like from that side. The directions say, this is the back, so this is the lining, to just finger press this lining tape towards the lining, and then to stitch right across the bottom, like, I don't know, to stitch right across the bottom edge here. And says it will encase that raw edge, but I don't know, I think it will just sew it down. I don't know. We'll see how this looks. I don't really think it encases it, but that's what the pattern says to do, so that is what I'll do. And then after you stitch, it'll create a top stitch look here on the front. Well, this is what it looks like. I've got, you know, I sewed it down. I don't know if you can see very well, but there it is. It doesn't hide the raw edge, so I don't know. But anyway, that's what it was said to do. So now I'm going to attach the other panel to the bag. So I'm just laying right side to right side. Going to line up my zipper here, and then I'm going to start sewing. And when I'm probably going to move this down a little bit, I'm going to start sewing, and then when I get here, I'm going to make sure my needle's down, press her foot up, and then I'm going to be able to adjust this to here, and then I'll continue sewing. Alright, so there is everything done, top stitch. That's what it looks from the other side. I'm still not convinced this hides the raw edge, but it's tacked down, so let's just keep on going. I'm not sure. I was thinking of almost trimming it, but then I just decided to follow what the pattern says, and that's where we are. So, yep. Alright, so there is a template that comes in on page 6 of the pattern, and it's for a circle. And you can copy it if you want to. You can even cut that template out of the pattern, but it's going to cut off a little chunk of the back of your book. You can make a copy of it from your pattern and then cut it out. I just had some freezer paper, and I just laid it on top of the pattern and cut it out. So what this is going to do is it's going to help round your edges. So you're going to lay it, and the edge of the circle should be on the edge of the bag, edge to edge here, edge to edge there. And then you can trace this and then cut it. And you're going to do it to that corner, that corner, that corner, and that corner, because it has rounded edges. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. So that's what it looks like, and I've already cut this sections off, and I'm just going to take my scissors, or if you want to use your rotor cutter, and just trim that off so it rounds up the corner. Alright, so now that those are rounded, you're going to take this, and I just followed the diagram, and they had it right under the zipper pull. So I measured down a little bit and then placed this, and then I just top stitched it there to hold it in place. So I'm on page 5 of the pattern now, where it says prepare for binding. So what I've done was I've put right sides together, I've just folded it in half, put right sides together, and I've lined everything up, and I've clipped. So now that I've clipped all the way around, I'm going to sew here all the way around a 1/4 inch seam allowance to hold everything in place. And then the last piece of the puzzle is binding up these raw edges there. So I have prepared my binding, and I cut it on the bias. When you cut it on the bias, it's really good for curved edges because it stretches a little bit. Okay, if you don't cut it on the bias, then the fabric is really stiff, it doesn't give much stretch, and it's really hard to do like curves. So whatever end you're going to start with, you just want to fold it under about a 1/2 inch, okay, so the raw edge is tucked under. And then you're just going to start, I guess I would attach it this way. This is the raw edge here. Alright, I would attach it up there, and then I'm going to pin it and clip it in place, and then I'm going to sew it, and it's just kind of like binding a quilt. When I get up here, I will measure my binding about a 1/2 inch more, cut off the excess and then fold that 1/2 inch under and finish attaching it. Alright, so that's what it looks like from one side. I've got it in, and now you're just going to flip it over to the other side, and you're going to bring that binding around, and you're going to clip it or pin it in place, and then you'll top stitch all the way down to secure the other ends of the binding. And then I had already opened my zipper up, so then I can turn it inside out, and I will be done with my clutch. So it's not the prettiest. I don't like binding. This is a pretty, I think, easy pattern, but I really don't like this binding method. So, and I don't like the fact that my raw edges are actually sticking out. So I don't have, I need to get some of that fray checker glue, but all I have is this. So I'm going to put a little thin layer on here and here, and hopefully that will stop any fraying, because there is some fabric that is sticking out. So, and then I'll turn it inside out and I'll show you the finished product. Alright, so there it all is. Handles attached. There's that one, and if I open it up, and there is the inside. I know it's kind of dark, but you can see the binding. So it does make a super cute clutch, and again, this is the medium-sized one. And I have another one cut out and ready to go there. And I've just made a lot of different size bags. I feel like you like certain methods over other ones in a pattern. Some people might really like this method. I like to stay away from binding, so that one I'll have to use the same method because I've already quilted everything, but maybe in a future one I'll figure out how to combine a different method that I enjoy from another pattern to put all the sides together so I can avoid doing all that binding. But anyway, I mean, it wasn't a lot. Binding's not my favorite. So super cute. This cork is really pretty, and I hope you enjoy making yours as well. It is easy. It's not difficult at all. So I would give it a try and make all 3 if you want, or more.